Hello, I'm Paul McKenna, and welcome to the MailOnline New Year, New You series. I want to help you get thin. I want to help you lose weight. I've helped lots of people, and what we're about to do in just a moment will involve a thought experiment, which will involve some imagination. But before we do that, I want to explain to you some simple changes that you can make in your behaviors that will dramatically transform your relationship with food. Now, my system doesn't work for everyone every time, but it works for most people most of the time. And the great thing is you can watch this video over and over again in order to help reinforce the changes that you want to make. So I'm going to tell you about the 4 golden rules of weight loss. These are my 4 golden rules. Number 1 is, when you're hungry, go and eat. Now, a lot of people go, hang on a minute, I'm already eating too much. I'll be eating all the time. Wait. What I'm talking about is real hunger. There's a difference between real, genuine hunger and emotional hunger. Emotional hunger means that we feel upset, or we're bored, or we're stressed, and so we reach for a bit of chocolate or cake or something like that, yeah? Or we just go and really stuff ourselves, yeah? So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real hunger, which comes on gradually. Emotional hunger comes on suddenly. Yeah? You come out of a stressful situation and wow, you just want some pizza. Yeah? Now, if you are stressed and overwhelmed and you think you're going to emotionally eat, I want you to do this. I want you to stop, put your hand on your heart, take a deep breath in, and gently let it go. And in that moment, I want you to think about something positive. I want you to think about, who do you love, or who loves me? What I love to do, what are my hobbies and interests, and what's fascinating to me? What's a fun time that I can think about or imagine? That's right. And just change your feelings naturally. Put your hand on your heart, deep breath in. Think about something good as you gently let it go. And ask yourself, am I really hungry? Or do I just want to change how I feel? Now, if you want to change how you feel, hand on your heart. If you're genuinely hungry though, go and eat. Because you see, if you starve yourself, you will end up binging. Yeah? So when we tell our body that there's always going to be enough food by feeding us when we're genuinely hungry, it doesn't go into survival mode and get good at storing fat. That's what happens when people go on diets. They starve themselves. So when they come off the diet, as most people do, what happens is their body gets really good at storing fat, yeah? And they get really tense around food. So to break that cycle, when you're genuinely hungry, you feel it gradually coming on, go and eat. Tell your body there'll always be enough. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is eat what you want, not what you think you should. I know lots of naturally thin people who eat chocolate, chips, pizza, cheese, all that sort of stuff, all the forbidden foods. And people go, oh, it's lucky for them, they've got a fast metabolism. Well, one of the reasons they have is because they haven't messed their metabolism up by starving themselves all the time. But metabolism is not a death sentence. So what I want you to do is to eat whatever it is that you genuinely like, right? So some people like some foods and some people like others. But eat what you want, not what you think you should, yes? So there are no forbidden foods in my system. I warn people about the dangers of excessive sugar, but if you genuinely feel like you want a particular food, that's what you should have. And of course, that brings us on to rule number 3. Now, rule number 3 is the most important rule. I've noticed a curious thing about people that are overweight. They think about food all the time, except when they're actually eating it. And then they shovel the food in as fast as they can. So what I want you to do, and this is really, really important, from now on, I want you, whenever you eat anything, to eat it consciously, or mindful eating, if you like, yeah? So it's very simple. When you eat in future, I want you to take plenty of time to enjoy every mouthful. So, for example, you also must get rid of the distractions. So you cannot eat and watch TV because you will eat more. You cannot listen to the radio, look online, magazine, and eat at the same time because you will eat more. That's the scientific research. So focus on the food and nothing else. No distractions. And some people say, well, I'm so busy. I mean, I don't have time to do that. Well, that's kind of a false economy, because, you know, if you don't take your health seriously, then there's a much bigger consequence. So take a little extra time to eat your food and really concentrate on it and get rid of all the distractions. Also, this is what I'd like you to do. By conscious eating, I mean doing this. What you do is you pick up the knife and fork, cut a bit of food, put it in your mouth, and put the knife and fork down. And chew the food about 20 times. Now, people go, well, that'll look a bit weird. No, I'll tell you what looks weird. This. Yeah? So, cut the food about this speed, put it in your mouth, knife and fork down. If you need to, sit on your hands. If you're eating a sandwich, prise your fingers off the sandwich. That's right. And chew the food about 20 times. Change the muscle memory around the whole process of eating. And enjoy each mouthful like you're a gourmet. That's right, let the taste and the texture of the food develop. Because when we shovel food in really, really, really fast, we flood our brains with happy neurotransmitters like serotonin. So we can't hear the signal from our stomach that says we're full, so we don't know when to stop. We only stop when we're completely distended, and then we hate ourselves for doing that and go and do it all over again a couple of hours later. So eat consciously, slowly, chew every mouthful about 20 times, and then to signal to yourself that you're in control, leave some food on your plate. Even if it's just a tiny little bit, yeah? Because I know many people grew up in what I call the clean plate club. Ooh, there are starving children in some part of the world, and if you don't eat your food, somehow it's a bad thing. No, leave some food on your plate, because where do you want it? There or here? Right. And finally, rule number 4. See, when you're eating consciously and slowly, it's easy to stop when you think you're full. Now, by that I mean if you suspect you're full. Because some people go, well, I don't know if I'm full or not. Now, if you're not sure, just try this experiment for a moment. Remember a time you were really hungry, really starving, ravenous, and remember what that felt like. And then remember a time you were stuffed and bloated, possibly even a bit nauseous. Remember what it feels like to feel ravenous and hungry, and then stuffed and bloated. Yeah, so what we're doing is recalibrating that signal again. So as you're eating slowly, chewing the food 20 times, and putting the knife and fork down, listening to that feeling from your stomach, when you even suspect you're full, stop eating. Because if you're hungry again, half an hour later, what do you do when you're hungry? You go and eat. So those are the 4 golden rules. When you're hungry, eat. Eat what you want, not what you think you should. Eat consciously, slowly, at about a quarter of the speed you are presently eating, because then it is very difficult to overeat, because you can finally hear the signal from your stomach that says you're full, so you stop and you leave food on your plate. Some people find this really quite shockingly miraculous. Other people go, oh, this is really neat. Now what we're going to do is one more technique, and this is a quick thought experiment that knocks out any cravings in moments. So if you're one of those people that, you know, is out of control around chocolate, you can't have just one piece, you've got to demolish the whole bar, then the chocolate's in charge and not you. What I'd like you to do is think about a food that is your, if you like, your compulsion food that you've got to have. And then what I want you to do is think about a food or a beverage that you can't stand, right? And, you know, for some people it might be, I don't know, anchovies. For other people it might be broccoli. There are some people who go, oh, there's nothing I wouldn't eat. Okay, well think about hair from a barber shop floor. So let's imagine your food of compulsion is chocolate. So imagine biting into the chocolate and there's a lot of hairs in there. No, really imagine it. That's it. Imagine it. Imagine it vividly. Imagine what it would be like. Or imagine the food that you don't like, the anchovies or whatever, mixed in with the chocolate. That's right. There you go. That's it. You're tasting the two tastes together and the texture. That's it. And also the contents of a spittoon, something else that's really revolting to you. Oh, imagine that. Oh, it's horrible. And this is the important part. Swallow it down now. And then do it again. Think about the food that you feel really compelled to eat, and then mix it in with the food that you really can't stand. So you're taking the compulsion food and the repulsion food, we're mixing them together. That's right. And then put some hair from a barbershop floor, the contents of a spittoon on it, and swallow it down, and then stop. Now, what we've done is we've mixed compulsion with repulsion, so it's more of an even playing field, if you like. So now, in future, when you look at that particular food, you'll find it easier to take it or leave it.